Do I have lipstick on
Making
my
sure you
cheek?
don't have cat hair on you.
I already dusted myself, thank you.
Okay, I've got 2 apples. Hey.
Hello everyone and welcome to Peach Betty. My name is Morgan and today the greatest woman to ever walk the earth was born. And
Oh,
she
goodness.
just happens to be my mom.
Hi.
Today we're gonna make Apple Tarte Tatin, and that is an upside down tart. Yum.
Yum. Total yum.
It is one of our favorite desserts. I first made it in pastry school and had to make it for my mom. And I've made it for her almost every year since then for her birthday.
Because it's so good.
I love it.
It's great.
So we're gonna start off by making our pie dough. And we have cold everything, cold butter, cold flour, we have cold water. We're gonna mix all this together and break up our butter chunks. While I'm doing that, my mom is going to peel and cut up our apples. You notice that there's no cutting board involved here. My mom
Nope.
doesn't believe in cutting boards. She never has.
No, we never used cutting board when I was growing up, and my mom and my grandma watched them, and this is just what they did, so we just peel.
You've just gotta be ready to eat an apple whenever you want,
Yep.
wherever you want.
And with the apple, it's fun to see how long you can make the peel.
I've never been good at that.
Me either. I always mess up because I try to cut too much off.
Also, don't expect to find a sharp knife in this woman's house.
If I had one, I'd cut my thumb
She cut her
off.
finger off. I did bring my own, but
No,
She refused
it's
to
too
use it.
dangerous. And the one time I did sharpen my knife when Morgan was coming over, I did cut myself. So, hi Abby, how
Abby.
you doing?
I was about to say the first time that you used this knife, you cut yourself.
Yes, I did. And that
Freaked
was
out.
it was this one that I sharpened and cut myself with again. So
it has never been sharpened.
it's
since that
not
point.
safe. But I do fine with it, and
She does great. It's very impressive
Yeah.
and kind of mesmerizing to watch. Alright, so I'm still breaking up my butter and she's already peeled all of her apples. What's nice about Apple Tarte Tatin is that you don't have to cut your apples into a bunch of little slices. All we're going to do is cut it in half and then in half again. We want to remove that core and then you're all done.
that's it.
That's it.
All right. We're just gonna leave it in quarters then? Okay.
You want to leave them in quarters because it focuses, this is where the meat comes in.
Oh, okay. Meaty apples. Those meaty boys.
You're too fast. I'm not done yet.
I'm sorry.
No. So this is definitely more pie dough than we will need, but I believe that if you're gonna go through this whole process, you might as well make enough to freeze for later.
And her pie dough is the best pie dough on the planet, so use her recipe.
I've practiced a lot.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't eat pie dough, but I eat this.
No seeds allowed.
Getting my seeds out.
Uh.
Woo! Runaway seed. Alright,
Alright.
there we go.
Great job.
Get rid of my
Mom.
garbage.
Alright, now we just have to wait for me to catch up.
Do I need
Well-
my little knife for anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Fast forward to done. Ta-da! So our butter is nice and small, no larger than pea-sized pieces is what you're looking for. This way your butter will ribbon through your dough and make it nice and flaky. Mom, can you please grab me the water from the fridge?
Sure.
You want to make sure your water is nice and cold so it
I do.
keep your butter nice and cold.
Alright, what do I
Go ahead and pour it in there
All
for
of
me.
it?
Yes, all
Okay.
of it. Whee!
Alright.
Alright, so now I'm just going to mix it together, grabbing from the bottom and lifting up, and I'm going to get nice and sticky, but that's okay. I'm good at making a mess.
So you come by this honestly making a mess cooking, because my grandmother was the biggest mess in the kitchen.
Oh my.
There would be flour literally on every counter, on the stove top, the cabinet doors. I mean, flour would be everywhere when she made biscuits. And I always had the lovely job of cleaning up after dinner, and boy, it was a job. But my grandma was a phenomenal cook, so
I feel like if you don't make a mess, you didn't have fun.
this is true.
And yeah. So your hands are all sticky, rub them back and forth. Since Mom's clean, she can go ahead and dump this out on the counter
Oh, okay.
while I rinse.
Alright. Woo! Uh-oh, runaway dough.
That's I just wanted to rinse my hands off so the rest of the dough didn't stick to them.
Okay.
And now I'm just going to press it all together. Now I'm just pressing it and folding it over. Just a few times, just until it comes together and becomes a smooth dough, but you don't want to knead it until it starts to contract, because then that means your dough is too tough. Just until it's together.
So is that what keeps it flaky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having the butter in those small pieces and pressing it through like this will keep it flaky. One more.
How do you know when you're there?
So right now you see it's still kind of like not fully together, but it's not dry or, you know, it'll stick to itself.
Uh-huh.
But it's also still pretty like squishy and flimsy.
Okay.
That's what you're looking for.
Ah.
So you can see a few like butter pieces, which is
Yeah.
still good, because we're gonna cut this and then you'll have the ribbons of dough throughout it.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, because I think people want to overwork it
Yeah, no.
because it doesn't seem like it's together enough.
No.
I think that's what I've done in the past when I've made pie dough.
Yeah, so see, this still doesn't look
There's
pretty.
a lovely piece of butter.
Okay.
Can't lose that.
Shove it. It doesn't look pretty, but it's
Yeah.
not shaggy.
Right.
And it's not dry, but it's still kind of like rough looking.
Okay.
But it's, you know, it's not sticky.
Yeah.
So, yep, that
Alright.
is it. Alright, so now I'm going to cut this into probably 4 pieces, flatten it, and stick it in plastic wrap
Big knife?
with my big knife. And
Morgan's knife, not mine.
we're gonna stick this into the fridge and chill it for at least 10 minutes or so, long enough for this to come together. So we'll see you in a minute. See?
Yeah, you can see the butter in it.
Alright, so this is my son,
My grandson.
Sullivan. We are no longer napping, but we're gonna move on and make our pastry. So while our dough is in the fridge chilling, what we're gonna do is we have a skillet here, and you wanna make sure that your skillet has a handle that can go in the oven. It is not going to melt, because this whole thing is gonna go in the oven eventually. We got an apple. We have softened butter. I'm gonna take this softened butter and I'm gonna rub it all over. You want some? I'm gonna rub it all over the pan here with my hands. I am hands on all the time.
So Sullivan. Ooh, it's everywhere.
Yep. You want to get the sides as well. Now, Mom and Sullivan, if you want to sprinkle the sugar onto that butter
Yeah, wee. Everywhere?
everywhere.
The whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
You want to do the rest?
Pour the rest in there.
Go for it. Whoa, good
Yeah.
job. Whoa, good job.
So now that we have our butter and our sugar in there, we're going to take our apples and arrange them cut side up all around the pan. Put them in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, this is an upside down tart. So we are going to bake all of our apples in this pan, and then we're going to top it with our rolled pie dough.
Okay, keep
And then
going.
flip it all out. So you want to arrange these so they look nice and pretty.
Yeah. Ooh, good job. You're so fast. Ooh, thank you.
We
Okay.
need more.
More apples. I have more in the refrigerator.
You're going to eat it?
Oops.
Alright, we have snacked on some of our apples, but we've made sure that we have crowded the pan so every space is covered. We're going to now transfer this over to our stove and start cooking it.
Okay, you ready?
Let's go. So what's happening right now is our butter and our sugar is going to start to melt. Then the juices from our apples is going to start to bubble, and we're going to make a nice caramel sauce. The apples are going to slowly cook and shrink and become nice and tender. When all of that is good, when I can stick these with a fork, we are ready to top it with our pie dough. You want to make sure that you have a fork handy because we want to rotate our apples to make sure that they are cooked evenly.
So what keeps the caramel from burning?
So the apples release more juice, which adds more moisture that needs to evaporate. So
Okay.
you get caramel when all the water evaporates and the sugar starts to burn.
Oh, okay. But you want to get it off before it burns.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
okay.
right now our apples are tender and our
Okay.
caramel is nice and golden brown. So I'm gonna remove it from the heat.
All right, let's go.
Alright, so our dough is nice and cold. We're gonna roll it out while our apples are all ready to go. So, sprinkle lightly with your flour.
Okay.
Put your dough down. Sprinkle some on top. Use the oldest and squeakiest rolling pin you've ever seen.
That was my grandmother's rolling pin. Thank you very much.
We're going to work in an X motion, rotating a quarter turn between each roll.
And what does that do? Just keep it even?
This keeps it round, yep. And feel
Round.
free to shape it as you roll, but we're not kneading or pressing anymore, just manipulating it so it stays round.
Okay.
Okay? So back and forth. You don't want to go all the way off the edge, because then that's when you get a really thin bottom or a thin side. And rotating it also makes sure that it doesn't stick to the table. So back and forth and rotate.
Okay. And you can still see the butter in there too.
Yep, that's what you want to see.
You make it look so easy.
Well, I've done it a few times.
Yeah, well.
Squeak. Okay. So our dough is about a quarter of an inch thin. We are now going to,
Hi.
we gotta take a towel because we don't want to ruin Mom's counter. Pardon me, hot coming through.
Hot stuff.
Hot. Alright, so we want to make sure our apples are arranged as pretty as we can possibly make it, because we are committed once we add this pastry on top. And that's the design we're going to see when we flip it out. Now we're just going to put our pastry on top. Tuck in those sides. And that's it.
Okay.
Now we're going to stick it into a 375-degree oven until our crust is nice and golden brown. It's probably going to be about 40 minutes. And
Okay.
then we'll flip it out.
Awesome.
Here we go.
Yay.
Goodbye. And good luck.
Yay.
This is the scariest part, in my opinion. Alright, put your plate on top. And, oh crud. Ready, set,
I don't know what sound that animal makes. Try saying another animal.
Ooh. Voila.
done. Okay.
Yum.
Now I have to serve this thing up. The perfect way to serve it is with vanilla bean ice cream. So I have added a vanilla bean ice cream recipe in the description. Try that. Also, I've made pumpkin ice cream. If you need to know how to make ice cream, click that video and it's perfect to watch.
It's really good.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're going to use a pizza cutter and just dig in. Ooh,
Ooh,
crunchy.
crunch. You want to see, Sullivan? Come here.
Come on.
Ooh, yum.
This is best served hot.
Gonna have some ice cream? Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at that. Yummy ice cream. Wow, look at that. Mmm.
Try and make it as photo presentable as possible.
Good.
We're just over here eating all the ice cream, Mommy.
That's fine.
Mmm. Good stuff.
Mmm.
His legs sticking out. It's so
Is
good.
it great?
It's great. Is the
Like
camera on? Yeah. Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Alright.
I didn't know.
Well, the ice cream is
Alright.
improved, so let's try the pie.
Ooh.
Anybody?
I'm-
Anybody?
Yeah, but I'm feeding this baby some ice cream. He's loving it. It's so good.
Want to try some pie?
Let's have some pie. Look how flaky the crust is. Are you ready? Ready. How's that? Oops, is it okay? Is it good? Can Grandma try some? Grandma can't catch it with her left
And-
hand.
You want me to feed you?
Sure. Yummy ice cream. You want ice cream?
There you
Mom? Mmm. Mmm. Ice cream. Okay. Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Alright, so there's our video. If you didn't quite catch how to make pie dough, I have my very first video that I did for baking. I'll put that link in the description. It's how to
Yum.
make pie dough by itself. Also, you can follow us on Instagram. It's @PeachBetty. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We post videos every Sunday. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Woo! Good stuff. Sullivan approved.
Yum.
Yum.